What's happening, people? It is your boy, Quarter Porter with Cheese, and we are getting ready to do a live stream podcast. We got some topics that we want to talk about today, and I'm here in the general chat on Discord. So if you're one of the people that's in the Discord and you want to jump in the conversation, feel free to do so. I'm joined in here by that man Daniel, Bryce, and Usagi. I'm going to bring them into the conversation right now.
Windows 10 because you are at risk for not using the actual one. Shut up. I asked you for my poop. All I heard from that.
All right.
So you could just actually never mind.
So they were talking about some sounds like Windows 10 discussion going on right here in the background while I was getting the stream up. But we're going to start talking about this George Floyd stuff. I've been listening to the stuff all last week. I've been itching to talk about it, and I was trying to put it off, but like it's getting to the point to where like the protests are getting really crazy and stuff like that. I just want to like get you guys' thoughts on the situation, starting from the beginning. You know, the story comes out about George Floyd, being killed under the police custody, and they had a video that went along with it that basically showed this man on the ground with a cop kneeling on his neck for like an extended period of time. The guy's like laying there. At some point, he like goes unresponsive. The guy's still kneeling on his neck, and then like by the time the emergency team gets there and stuff, like he's already gone. They try to resuscitate him, I think, and he was already too far gone. But I know what I think about these things, but I was wanting to get as many of you guys in here as I could to share your thoughts on it, and which I know a lot of y'all have parents and stuff, and everybody's from different walks of life. So I want to make this open to everybody to talk about it. We're not going to turn away any opinions, even if they don't agree with what I believe. I just want everybody to have a space to talk about it because it's something that's really big. We had coronavirus, and then now we have this situation going on. So I'm gonna step back and let you guys kind of talk about it amongst yourselves. And if I have something I want to add into it, I'll chime in. But right now the floor is yours, guys.
Who going first?
Also keep in mind this is not a debate, so we're not going to take everything way too seriously.
Yeah.
Nah, I'm taking this shit seriously. First off, it was damn negligence, okay? If video at least 20 times, you could tell the cop was having an enjoyment over the fact everyone was saying, get off his neck, this man was getting his pee hard. I'm being straight up honest. You can kind of see him smirking while he's doing it as well. Thing that pissed me off. And the fact that you have, keep in mind, the more you watch the video, Floyd keeps crying out to his mom, if you didn't know, passed away 3 years ago, so you know he was in pain. If he was in pain, if he was calling for his own mom that isn't even on this earth anymore. That's what I gotta say.
There's a lot of other things that happen after his death. The riots and stuff. They were rioting in my city, I think 2-3 days ago, and his wife actually divorced. His wife actually divorced him, I think, yesterday, or filed for divorce yesterday. And a lot of people are saying that a lot of people are like, proud of that and stuff like that, but a lot of people pointed out that she might have actually been I keep saying it wrong, divorcing him to freeze his assets or transfer his assets to him, so when he gets arrested and they try to take his assets, they don't have anything to take away from him.
You talking about the cop?
There's a lot of,
I gotta step out.
yeah, the cop,
right.
Derek. Is his name Derek, right?
Yeah, his name is Derek.
So
I guess I'm trying to understand the logic in that. So she was trying to freeze his assets?
They were trying to transfer his assets to her, like give her ownership, and then divorce him, so like he has like really no connection with her. Then I think also the autopsy for George came out today, and they said that there was proof that there was pressure on his neck and that he had some other health condition that caused something wrong with his arteries and stuff like that also contributed to his death.
Right. And the first little bit of stuff that I heard was like a medical examiner's autopsy, which I guess is like done by the county. So like basically hit their the medical examiner's autopsy was saying that he had like underlying health conditions, like he had hypertension and and like they were trying to say like he had intoxicants in his body and stuff, and that he was I was like, bro, you can literally have all these things going on in your life and that's not going to cause you to die in police custody. But I mean, I'm glad that the family took it upon themselves to get a second opinion, because I think what they're going to end up doing is filing suit against the police force, and that independent autopsy is going to be part of it. Like there's going to be the criminal part, and there's going to probably be the civil part where they sue the police for negligence or whatever. But yeah, I didn't know that his mom had passed away before he did. Like she predeceased him.
But I mean, like with all these riots, dude, there's a lot of different things going on. Like people are supporting the riots, people are not supporting riots. Celebrities are actually like an NBA star, I forgot his name, I forgot his name. But he is supporting the riots. But then, if you look on his Twitter, he tweeted a picture of like a house burning and something like that. He's like, burn it down and all that. And then the people come to his sister's place and they start rioting. They start burning down places, and then he gets all sad and like, oh, they're monsters and crap. So he's crazy, dude. Like he's just switching up. But like there are actual other people. Like Logan Paul's actually participating in the riots. Like he's out there looting and crap. And KSI, he's supporting it. He's saying we don't need to have peaceful protesting. We need to riot and stuff like that. And he's not even American. Like what? So it's a lot of different opinions going around. I personally think that you shouldn't riot, because it's been proven by people like Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. She just sat there and she got her word out that you don't need to riot in order to make a change in the world.
Well, honestly, and on that lines, just look at where we are now in 2020. That was like in the 1960s when the like big race civil stuff happened.
Yeah.
And like here we are, some like 50 odd years later, and we're still having the same injustices happen. But like, you know, it doesn't get reported as much now because supposedly we have all these opportunities and stuff. But like, there's still racism in this country, and that's the driving.
You can't get rid of racism. That's what people have to realize, is that racism is an idea, and once that idea is out there, then literally everyone has that thought of racism, and once everyone has that thought of racism, it's never going to go away.
But I mean, even along that lines, let's say like we're racist, for example, I'm racist against whites. I'm not going to go, you know, kneel on the back of some white guy's neck till he can't breathe, he dies or expires because I don't like white people. You know, there's racism where you can not be violent, and you know, this guy's job was put him in the public where he was going to deal with all races, nationalities, all kinds of different people from different walks of life. You have to learn to be able to put your personal issues aside and do your job, and that was one of those instances where somebody didn't do their job. They let their personal issues get in the way of them doing their job.
But Derek and another cop has also had complaints about him dealing with people that died. Like he's been over aggressive in certain situations and stuff like that. So he's had a history with this. And it's not, I said that you can't get rid of racism, but you can get rid of the people that, like, you can not allow people that have racist thoughts and ideas to be in power of, you know, being able to kill someone. Like if you know that this dude's having problems and fire him on the spot, you don't give him a second chance. Especially when you're a cop.
Yeah, and I gotta think about it now. Like, that's one of those jobs that, like, I'm saying this as a black man, that most people don't want to do that job. Like, the stigma that comes along with being a police officer. I mean, for our culture, it's like police. You're like, if you're a police officer, it's kind of frowned upon because of that. But I mean, really, in order to start changing the way that things are happening in police, we need to have more black police officers. We need to have more black police officers in the communities where black people live. And I mean, that will start to make sure that there's a cultural representation, like in sports. You know how sports was real segregated at the first of it,
Yeah.
right? And then they started bringing in black athletes, and there was still a lot of racism and stuff. And then it took like that happening where, like, let's say a white athlete was like going into a place and they were friends with the black athlete that was on the team, but that black athlete couldn't have the same access that they had, and and then they started to see that, hey, this isn't right. We need to see more black police officers and people that are saying, this is the stuff that they're doing isn't right, so that they can start to affect change within the actual police system. Because I think it's going to take more of us getting those opportunities, but the hard part is getting black people to actually want to be a police officer, because we know the stuff that people have to deal with on a day-to-day basis as a police officer. More, I mean, if anybody, we're really qualified to be police officers. I mean, but the thing is that you can run into good and bad apples on both sides of the thing. But like black people are more, we're like, nah, we don't want to do that job.
Yeah, because I mean, like, you don't want to be. I just feel like people don't want to be in that position, you know? Like, you don't want to watch over, like, just watching over a bunch of people and, like, having that badge that now currently means that you're an enemy. Not a lot of people want to take up that job because they're scared of being judged and stuff like that, which I don't think they should be, because, I mean, like, that should be a way that you're saying that I'm going to change my community, I'm going to change what's going on around here, but some people just don't see it like that. Some people just see it as opposed to just a blatant enemy.
Right. And it's a cultural thing. Like I said, it's a black culture thing. Like, there's so many injustices that the culture has served and the people have served at the hands of white police officers. So, like, it's hard for black people to see that as a job that we want. We want to be basketball players. We want to be football players. Not only is there money involved in it, but I mean, there's notoriety, there's success, there's a lot of positive things that go along with being an athlete. They don't talk about the negative things most of the time when it comes to being an athlete, like, the gold diggers, the all these other things that could potentially happen to you while you're you're an athlete. You can end up with a career ending injury, and then you'd be tossed out the door because you're no longer a commodity that brings them value. And there's a lot of injustices in the actual sports, but they at least they're getting well compensated for it. Like, if you're a police officer, you're not really well compensated for being a police officer, and you got to deal with the bottom feeds, you got to deal with all the crackheads, you got to deal with all this other stuff. And most black people already have that stigma tied with, the police are bad, that's the wrong team to be aligned with when it comes to that thing. And I mean, that's something that the culture has to deal with. But the only way we can change that narrative is if there's more of us in the police force. And it's hard because like I said, most people want to make money, they want to be safe, and as a police officer is a dangerous job. So, and I mean, looking at what KJC saying in the chat, he's saying that black cops have been catching mad fire recently, so I can see why people would want to be a police officer. Like I said, it's one of those things where the only way to change that negative stigma that's around police officers is for enough of us to be that and be like, look, they got to see the good ones, and there's got to be enough black good ones to make a change in the way that black people view police officers. And the more black police officers we have, we're able to bring our culture into that system, and then we can affect change in how white officers view black people, because now they have more than just one or two black police officers that are in the line of duty with them. They see the culture, they see more of that, and it starts to change the way they view people. But like I said, it's not a job that most black people would want to have. There's a stigma with it.
Yeah.
But
I mean, what do you think about the rioting about this? Do you guys believe that rioting is the way to show us that we need change, or should we do peaceful protesting? Like in terms, not rioting in terms of like the looting and stuff like that.
You mean like destroying property as far as rioting?
Yeah, because some people support that.
And I guess I can see why they support it, because they feel like, let's say you have a kid that's crying, right? And he's just sitting there crying, right? He's just saying, he's just crying because whatever he feels he needs is not being met. So we hear him crying, we hear him, right? But like, it's not until they break something. Let's say like the little kid like picks up something like a rock and throws it through like a window or something. The little kid like breaks a window on the house. Okay, now we really hear him. And we see that there's damage now. That damage comes at the cost of somebody, right? Somebody's got to pay for that broken window.
But I mean, you're destroying your own communities. Like that's what you're doing.
But the thing is that the some of the rioters rioting or destroying property aren't people from that community. Because if you live in a community, think about it in common sense terms. You're not going to go outside, throw a rock into your own house, and then start, rioting about somebody that died. I mean, yes, this guy was a black man that died in the hands of white police, but I'm not going to go outside and throw a rock through my own windshield and protest. You know what I mean? Like, it's got to be something. It's got to be somebody else doing it. I mean, there could be.
That's what some people. That's what a certain percentage of people are doing. They're going out and, destroying their own Walmart and stuff like that. Like,
but the thing is, you could say it's our Walmart, but really think about it. Is it really your Walmart?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In Minneapolis, the reason why they went after the Target was because they funded a certain percentage of the police and stuff like that. So that I can somewhat understand. But like, they're out here burning Arby's, dude. Like, what did Arby's do to
Bro, I was gonna say Arby's ain't that wave though. I mean, I could live with them burning some Arby's. Arby's ain't got nothing good for me.
I know Arby's is bad, but like, you don't gotta burn it down.
Maybe that was just like that rage burn. That was like, if something got to go, we're gonna to get rid of this Arby's real quick. If something had to go, that we wasn't gonna get rid of Walmart. We ain't gonna turn on Walmart. Walmart been good to black people, but we're gonna get rid of this Arby's. We want McDonald's.
A number of fires near the White House.
The other question I got. See,
burn the White House, dude.
And that was another funny thing that I wanted to bring up to you guys. So, I heard that there hasn't been one like thing where the president addressed the nation.
I mean, Trump went to the Church of St. John's. He's at the Church of St. John's earlier.
So, like, he hasn't came out and did like a national address to the. I
don't know. I just see. I'm on YouTube right now, and I see like a bunch of like recommendations about the. It says President Trump says he's mobilizing heavy armed military to stop. What does it say?
He literally tweeted out, when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Like, what's that?
Stop protest in DC.
Like, he's literally threatening to shoot protesters.
Well, that one tweet where he said the looting starts, the shooting starts.
Yeah.
So this is what KJC said. He has a hot take for the riots. He said, in order to get a new house, update, make changes, refurbished, etc., it is necessary to destroy. You have to destroy in order to construct something new. So he was thinking,
I mean, you're burning a Target. You're not. Their goal, the looters' goals, are not to build a new Target. Their goal is to fix the racism in the police stuff. They're not trying to build a new Target or build a new house. They're just looting to prove that we are mad, And like, you don't need to loot to prove that you're mad. You don't need to destroy buildings, and they're destroying buildings that are for them. There's this one low income apartment that they just burned to the ground. That was like worth $3 million that they constructed for people that were in low income areas, and that was just completely destroyed.
And now the constructors are like, oh no, we're not going to do this anymore. We're going to build somewhere else. That's what they're doing. So they're destroying their own communities. They're taking the opportunities away from themselves by doing that.
Yeah, my little thing on that is not that can't be all local. That has to be what they say, professional rioters that come from out of state that don't have any vested interest in the communities that they're destroying. They just come because it's an opportunity for them to sow seeds of discord in the name of this person that died at the hands of police injustice, and for them to like make a scene, because it brings that news, that press, that it brings all the attention to that. You know,
But
they
they're
don't
bringing it in a bad way. They're making us
right, but they're not
bad.
members of that community, so they don't care what happens to that community.
Yeah, but they're members of the black community. You know, they're all black people that are leaving rioting, so they're making us look bad. Because to the people that are up top, they think that, you know, black people are crazy, they're out of control, and by us looting and destroying buildings, we're proving that point.
I was gonna say, if you want to get real for a minute, who came over on ships and like killed off like almost a whole nation of Native Americans by themselves with disease and guns and war and all this stuff? I mean, that wasn't black people.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like,
I mean, if we're being real, I mean, they want to say that we're crazy, that we're acting all kinds of crazy. I mean, we weren't the ones that killed off almost a whole nation of people and took their land.
They're at the top though. Like we can say that they're crazy, but they're not. What are they gonna do? They're not gonna listen to us. But then when they say that we're crazy, the other people, the cops, they start shooting at us. We can't just go to the White House and start shooting it up, you know, because they're at the top.
I mean, we could.
Yeah, we could,
but I mean, how many? We don't got enough guns though. But I mean that
they have the better guns.
I'm just saying that there's a reason why they have the guns and we don't.
Yeah.
But I mean that came from them having control of everything. They have control of like they have control of legislature. They have control of the justice system. They have control of the banks, the companies.
The government.
Right.
That's what we're allowed. That's what we as a people, not even black people, we as like, you know, citizens of America, we're allowed to overthrow the government if us as collective people think that it's corrupt and stuff. That's what the Constitution states, and you know, all the laws that the framers of America they put that in place so that they basically said that if we're too out of line, then you can stop us. Yeah, but now it's to the point where it's like, we don't feel like we have that opportunity. We're just here.
Well, I think that instead of the like I said, if people really want to change, the best way to affect change, and I tell y'all guys this all the time whenever we talk about the video game stuff, like where we feel like our voices aren't being heard on the games that we play. We ask for these changes in future games, and we don't get them. The best way to affect the change, even within a political system, is for the people that have the power, which is us, to not buy the products, not support the companies that don't share our views on life and such, because we have the most power. It's our hard-earned money that funds these companies and all this other stuff, you know. So like, if you want to really start affecting change in a system, you stop spending your money at those places that don't support your viewpoints, your ideas and such on how the world should work, and I bet you it'll change. It may take a little while, and what a little bit of.
What are we supposed to do to the people that higher up? Are we just supposed to like stop paying taxes? Is that what we're supposed to do?
Oh no, I'm talking about not your tax money, because that money itself is going to always come out. But I mean, yeah, your money that you spend on your recreation, you go to buy groceries at this store versus this store. You know what I mean? Like, let's say that you go to Walmart. You know, Walmart is a company that's a big corporation that's probably getting rollbacks, kickbacks, and tax breaks from the government for the things that they do. Or you can go down to mom and pop store and buy groceries at mom and pop store down the street, which is owned by, let's say it's owned by a black family or whatever in the neighborhood. They may not have the selection that Walmart has, and their goods may cost more, But think about the things that they had to compete against, you know, to bring that product to you in your local area or whatnot. You know, we buy at Walmart because it's cheaper, right? But who's making the goods that go into Walmart? Is it people in America? It's most likely not. That's the reason why they can make their goods cheaper, because the work is being outsourced. So they're getting Chinese, let's say Chinese sweatshop is making the clothes. So you want to go buy a shirt or whatever, and mom and pop store is selling you that same exact shirt for like, maybe let's say like $10, but you can go to Walmart and get it for half the price. Let's say that sweatshop in China is making that shirt for like it's costing them a total of $1. So you go buy the shirt, and the shirt that costed $1 for the Chinese people to make, they're taking a $3 or $4 profit off of that every single time, and we go buy it there because it's cheap, but we won't buy from mom and pop store. Let's say they made the shirts themselves. You know, they have the press in their house, and they have the little thing that, you know, that iron it on. Somebody in America made that shirt, of course, so it's going to cost a little bit more. But like I said, it's we look at goods and how we want to spend our money, but we have a lot of power in how we choose to invest our money or how we spend our money. So if you want to affect change, you have to start putting your money into those companies that have your values, that have your views, the people that look like you, the people that go to the schools and that go to the same church as you. Those people, some of those people are businessmen in local communities, and they have to fight tooth and nail to get business through these corporations, from these corporations that outsource work, that pocket all the money, that funnel that money into campaigns of politicians that don't share the same views as you, because all they care about is getting kickbacks to these companies that keep funding their campaigns. I hope I'm making sense to y'all. I'm not trying to like.
I understand. Yeah.
I understand too.
I know what you're trying to say.
Yeah,
But I mean, I'm not completely 100% right. I mean, I'm partially right on some of this, because at the same time, we don't have a lot of money to spend most of the time. We don't have good paying jobs where we can, you know, spend $10 on a shirt to show support to a local business, because we got mouths to feed, we got bills to pay, you know, we got all these other things going on in our lives. So we got to be smart with how we invest our money. So I mean, there's all kinds of factors that we got to think about. But I mean, that to me, that's like one of the major ways that if a bunch of people get together and be like, look, we're not putting up with this crap no more. You're either going to start changing how you treat us, or we're going to start taking our business elsewhere. You're not going to buy money at your place or buy goods at your place anymore until you start hearing our voice. You know, and
I say a speech when you get done.
But I mean, that's some of the things I think about whenever I see these situations, because like to me, like our whole system is a capitalist system. So it's like, you know, competition, you know, who's driving goods, you know, they have to compete, you know, to get the money or have the best products, you know. So every day they're trying to find ways to make a product cheaper, you know, faster, get it to the market, you know, all these things, you know. And like these corporations are like most of the politicians and stuff are like just puppets, because they get into office only because they get the support of these corporations. And then these corporations are like, hey, I got this that I want to do, this and this, but y'all got these laws that are blocking me from doing this and this. You know, I'm trying to make money, and you know, if you want to keep your little cushy job and keep getting the support from us, you know, you see if you can make this happen or that happen. You know, all these things are going on behind the closed doors. They may throw a legislation piece or two or three for us up there whenever there's some situation, but a lot of the legislation has nothing to do with actual day-to-day life and making our lives better, so that we don't have to be worried about the police stopping us for a counterfeit 20 and then us ending up on the ground getting suffocated. You know, and we talk about these intoxicants, the drug use, and all this stuff in the black community. But like, I mean, think about it. If you know that every day that your life is on the line, you go to work, you drive your car, you don't know if you're going to be stopped by the police, and then you get home, you're like, whew, thank goodness I made it home. You know, or like you see like the rappers, they're all talking about, you know, weed smoke, this and that. You know, it's a culture. These rappers are getting wealthy off of young black men buying into this fantasy that they're selling them on a CD, right? So they're all buying these CDs. They're all, you know, basically buying into the now these black artists are now corporate citizens, or they're basically like company employees. You go out, you keep selling this fantasy to the black community, so they keep buying your CDs, and then like they'll have a company will come up to this man. And you're like, yeah, and you're really doing something good for your community. You know, here's a Rolls Royce. You know, just mention us in your video. You know, talk about how you got that Rolls, and then you know the rappers go out and rap about Rolls Royces. Now black people in the black community got to have a Rolls Royce because they gotta feel like they're successful, that they're making it somewhere. So now at the end point of this, who's making the money?
The people that are supporting the rapper.
The Rolls Royce people. They're getting people to buy these Rolls Royces when you can go and get a nice family car for like half the money, and it still gets the whole family from point A to point B, and it's a fraction of the cost. But like I said, that they use the artist, and the artists now become the face of their company to the black community. Let's say like with Michael Jordan with the Nikes and stuff. This man made more money selling shoes than he did playing basketball in his whole career. Now his profession was basketball, but now like I said, now he's making all this money with shoes, and Nike's like a huge company because of him. So like it's like one of those things where like we have to figure out, you know, which companies are actually supporting our cause, us getting better jobs, us getting a chance to, you know, be leaders in the community and affect change, affect how people view black people, because that's at the end of the day, it comes down to we have to change how people view us. We can't be seen as the people that are out destroying property, the weed smoking, not taking care of their families, that stigma that comes with all the things that have happened as a culture. We blame so much of that stuff on, you know, our situation, but we have to start making change within our community itself. And I mean, it starts with young minds and people that have goals and dreams, that have visions. And we need to take those people and cultivate them and nurture them and give them the opportunities that they need to succeed. Like, instead of, you know, sticking them out in the streets, because like somebody that's smart is going to always succeed no matter where you stick them. But like, let's say they're smart, but you stick them on the street. They're going to succeed on the street. But let's say you take that smart person and you put them in a banking area, a bank company, or a big company that's making like innovative products. That person's going to succeed, and they're going to succeed in that platform too. Which one is going to be more beneficial to the society as a whole? Putting that smart person on the street, or putting them in a company and giving them the wings to be able to try to do things within that company? It's the opportunities that we are afforded that determine how big that our scope can reach. Well, I'm gonna step off the box because like I got like viewpoints on these things, my boys. Like, but like I really want to know what y'all think, because y'all are the generation that's coming up.
Yeah. I think that we should just not see this as a way to profit, because a lot of people are trying to profit off of the death of this man. They're trying to promote themselves as a good person. They're trying to say that, oh, I knew this dude, you know, we were best friends, and now that he's dead, I'm going to riot. I'm going to do this. That's what the NBA players. That's what a lot of celebrities are trying to do. They're trying to put this as a way to put themselves out there as that, well, I'm good because I'm doing something, you know. you shouldn't have to promote. You shouldn't have to say that you're protesting. Is what I'm saying. J. Cole, Ariana Grande, they all went out and protested, and they said absolutely nothing. Everyone was like, "Oh, what are you doing? You're not saying anything." But they're just like, "Bro, I was out here protesting, and nobody knew." Like you shouldn't have to say, especially celebrities. A lot
Actions
of
speak
them are
louder
saying,
than words.
"Yeah, exactly." And
Jake
you know,
probably
some of these
protested just
celebrities.
for content.
I mean,
That's the only-
he's not protesting. He's just looting because he's an idiot. That's
I
what
mean, no,
he's
no,
doing.
yeah,
He's
he
not.
looted only looted because of content. That's why
Yeah, he's not supporting. He's not honoring that man. He's not trying
he
to
got
make
free
change.
champagne in the process from PF Chang's. I
Yeah,
know he
like
was
it
near
makes no
PF Chang's.
sense.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's doing. I just try to steer. I try to not look at people that are supporting that. I try to look at the people that are, you know, peaceful protesting. They're trying to implement laws. They're trying to prove that there are good cops. Because I know that there are good cops, but like that's I'm not saying that that's not what we need to focus on. It's that we need to focus on the bad cops. That's why the media. I feel like a part of the media focuses on the bad things is because the bad things is what needs to change. That's what we need to move out of the way so that way the good things shine better because right now nobody's looking at the good things. I mean there's a selected few that you know go out and they peaceful protest and look at that and like yeah that's fine to say you know I peaceful protest but I'm trying to move everything towards people protesting. I'm not trying to peaceful protest to fix. And I don't know if I'm wording this, but I'm not trying to peaceful protest to fix. To fix. I'm also trying to peaceful protest to fix the system and to fix the rioting and stuff like that. That's what I'm trying to say. And I feel like that the rioting and the systems are two different things. That people are rioting because of the system instead of rioting to fix the system. Which, if that makes sense.
So yo, I went to go get gas.
So you think that they're rioting with like that they're rioting as a reaction to the situation, but not with the solution, not with the solution in mind or with a way forward.
Because they're mad. They're
Let me chime in. Let me chime in. Let me chime in. I want to chime
I
in.
feel like that's killing them. You know, that's making everyone look bad, even the peaceful protesters. That's part of the reason why they are tear gassing peaceful protesters, because they look at us as oh any moment they're gonna go crazy and stuff like that. So that I feel like that's also a reason why. And another reason why is just because some of the cops don't know what they're doing.
Ooh, can I add on?
Yeah, you can go ahead.
Okay, so one thing I had to understand was the fact that I don't understand because I haven't really been targeted before, but I know that other people have been for a long time. What is it? Stop and frisk was a big thing in New York, and also in Chicago. And so it's just stuff like that where it just builds up a lot of tension, and including the fact that what is it? Jews had relief plans, Asian Americans had relief plans, Irish Americans had relief plans because all those things that happened to them, they got compensation for it. But the thing about us black people is that we never got any compensation for pretty much anything. And the fact of the matter is, America slavery, and I know a bunch of stuff was built off slavery, but you just have to understand that um, we got recognition, no compensation. We just shoved it down and just tried to bury it under the dirt like nothing happened. But in reality, families were killed, lives were lost, and people were lynched, and that's something you just can't forget about. I agree with Bryce on the matter of rioting isn't really a good way of going, and I don't know how you feel. I can't put myself in there. If you feel that's the best way for them to hear you because just peaceful protesting it hasn't even done anything, it just makes you look like a bunch of quiet church mouses not doing anything, okay. But if you feel as if rioting sends a message, hey, it do be what it do be. I don't commend it. I'm just saying, just stay home. You know, don't really put yourself out there. A teenager was lost his life out there. So ain't really a time for just people to go out there for nonsense reasons if they don't have a reason to go outside. That's all I can say about that.
To quote Martin
The
Luther King, like writing is the voice of the unheard. The reason
Yeah.
why
Yes.
people are writing is because like they feel like their voices aren't heard.
Right, and that's what earlier I was talking about the little kid that's crying and nobody's paying attention to him, because black people have been crying for a long time about injustice. We've been crying about police stopping us and frisking us for no reason, making us get out of our car, searching our car just because they can. You know, there's been bad cops for a long time, and like we've been crying about it, and like whenever something like this happens, and then people riot, then now people are actually paying attention.
Yeah, what is it? When you talk, you're not heard. When you yell, you're not heard. When you start punching, you're not heard. It just starts escalating. That's the thing.
I don't think it's necessarily not being heard. I think it's just not. I think it's just the people not caring. You know, like they just don't care about us. So that's what
Yeah.
our generation have to do, because the people at top they're gonna die out eventually. You know. So
Yeah.
when we I was talking about this yesterday to like Blue and you guys, when we get up there, we have to go up there with the mindset to change things, or not necessarily to change things, because by the time these people are dead, things are sort of at a blank state, you know. Like there are still rules that are in place to keep, our communities down at the bottom, but like once we're up there, we have the power to instantly change that, because there's no one else that can sort of combat us. So that's what I plan to do. I plan to, when I want to go to college, to get a degree and all that, and I want to give back to the community, and I also want to change the laws and legislations that keep us down, and I want to try to change the system. But I mean, Daniel was saying that, what were you saying about compensation? You're saying that, Jews and were compensation and that we got nothing. I feel like that just equality would be a compensation. Like, we don't really, I mean, yeah, it would be nice to have, say we get $1 million per family. Yeah, that's cool. But like, we're still at the bottom. We're still not being treated correctly. Jews, they're being treated correctly. Like
I was gonna
we're not
say,
killing Jews and stuff like that.
I was gonna
So
say,
they got their equality.
Jews ain't doing too bad right now. Most of them are,
Yeah. And that's what we want. We want to, be safe in America. We don't want to be killed. I don't want money.
I brought this up before. I told Bryce and them, I said, if you really want to, and not in a manner of physical, you can always hurt them economical.
Yeah,
Save
I was
your,
talking about
save your
that.
money. Save your money. Invest in black communities.
Yeah, exactly
But
what I
it
was
is
saying.
hard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly what I was talking about. Hey, and KJC said something I want to share with you guys. He's listening to us talk about it. He was saying you can't keep pushing people into a corner without them eventually lashing out, and that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
And they basically have like I know some of y'all. I don't know if some of y'all have like white friends and stuff. Like I used to tell my gal this all the time because she grew up with her mom. Her mom's white, but her dad's Native American. He's Navajo. But like he worked really hard. He was in the military and stuff to get his what he feels like his American dream and whatnot. And like I would try to explain to my gal like how like I have this like tinted like view of the police and stuff. And I would tell her this stuff and she didn't understand. But like with this stuff that's been happening lately with Ahmaud Arbery, and then now this stuff with George Floyd, like you can't deny it now. Like black people have been talking about this stuff for like forever, like just talking about the injustices. And now, like I said, people are you can't deny it. You can't say that we're just making this stuff up anymore. And like with camera phones, that's like the best invention for black people now, because like there's a camera now like nearly everywhere. So if people start doing some stuff like this, they have to think about it, because body cams is easy. You can cover up a body cam if you're doing something you don't want nobody to see, or you can say, oh, it's malfunctioning, it wasn't working whenever this happened. Now we got people that have cameras on their phones, so like you would think it would make some of those people think twice about doing something that they normally would have done before this era. Where people, if you're doing something you ain't supposed to, somebody's got a camera phone that can flip that up real quick and start recording you. But yeah, what Daniel said, hurting them economically, or you can affect change by economics. That's my main preach, because I tell y'all that with the games and stuff all the time. Like, that's a big way to change stuff.
I don't think that's what the rioters are doing. I think they're just rioting to riot. You know, I don't think that a lot of them, and I could be wrong. They could literally be just have this all planned out, but that's not what it seems like. I think that they're just looting, you know,
senselessly. Like, they don't have no plan.
Like, if they said, if they before all this happened, if they said we are only going after communities that, you know, hurt us and stuff like that, then I would be all for it. You know, it's like, you know, you're hurting the bad people economically, to say.
Adam and Bryce, expect a
That's
new.
not what they're doing.
I told Adam and Bryce, expect like a new form of Black Panthers. Like, I'm being dead ass. If nothing changes, expect a new form of Black Panthers. I won't even be surprised.
It's quiet.
Yep. Let's see. Yeah, hurt them economically. Save your money, invest in the Black communities. But the thing about that is, like, it's what is it? My dad tried to invest in just like stuff and stuff like that. So basically, he asked for loans from like Black banks and stuff like that. But the thing is, they didn't have the money. That's the problem. The money isn't there. But I feel like that's something that'll fix itself.
It's not just economically. It's ideas that people have. It's people in power. It's everything that we need to change. It's like economically we'll do a big impact on it, but if we don't go after everything, then it's just gonna grow back. You know.
Right. And there's another thing I want to bring up to you guys. We got to get opportunities. The thing is that you can affect change, how somebody's family views Black people. You never know, because like let's say this family grew up and there was not a bunch of Black people around, so their only education on Black people was what they saw on TV. Let's say they saw Friday, they saw them smoking weed, you know, doing this or that or whatever, not having jobs, and that was their view on Black people. But that's what the TV, the media, and the culture like kind of like represents us as. So you have one person that gives you an opportunity. Let's say you're a hard worker, you're trying to get you a job, you're just trying to get your first job, and somebody sees you like a white guy, he's like, you know what, you know, I've seen all this stuff, but you know, this kid, he came in, he's well dressed, he's well spoken, he's telling me that this is his first job, he needs this job to do this and that. He gives you the opportunity, you go in there, you do what you're supposed to, you show up when you're supposed to, you do your job, and you do it well, and this guy sees that, he's like, man, this guy is really good, you know, and then they give you more opportunity to, you know, grow within the company or do more. So, you know, you're showing you've changed this guy's viewpoint, because he's seen one Black person that, you know, took his opportunity and ran with it. So now, like he said, you're going back to your community, you're sharing your wealth, you know, you're buying at the local Black stores, and they're like, hey man, where you working at, man? You doing real good. And you be like, you know, I'm working at this place, you know, and he'd be like, hey man, you think you could get me on there? And you know this person, you can vouch for them, you know that they're gonna work hard too. So now you brought somebody else from the poverty area to a place where they can do better. So, and then, you know, this is how people's fortunes and lives are changed on them giving one person a chance. Thinking about like Jackie Robinson back in, thinking about, but that's what I'm saying. It takes getting those opportunities, and then, you know, the right people getting those opportunities, paving the way for other people to you know, to come through and also succeed as well.
Yeah.
But like I said, it takes one person being able to look past the color of the person's skin and being like, you know what, I'm gonna take a chance on this person, because, you know, they can see one version of Black people on TV, but then, you know, you go to this individual, and that's where it starts, because a lot of us are able to look at white people as individuals more than just white people in general.
Yeah.
But like when it comes to cops, it's kind of hard because like every time I turn around, I'm seeing a white cop doing something foul to a black person, or I'm hearing about a white cop doing something foul to a black person. There could be a lot of good white cops, but we can't tell which ones they are.
I think it's just knowing. You don't need to really see that they're, because I mean, to be honest, you can't just say all cops are bad. Like they're it's just statistically impossible that all cops are bad. So like just having that idea that, okay, while I did see this guy kill this man, I still am going to believe, I'm still going to know that there are, more good cops out there. And I'm going to still focus on the bad cops because that is what needs to be changed. You need to go in with a mindset.
I suggested, I said this, and I said, but it's sad to hear that one bad apple spoils the bunch. Again, you can there, and there are bad cops. I've seen videos of cops planting weed on innocent bypassers in their cars for stop and search and stuff like that. But what I said is, you weren't forced to wear the badge. All right, no one forced you to wear the job. I said, as soon as all this blows over, I need all police departments around the world to have reconstruction tests, right? Like every day of the month. Like once a month, like on a certain day they could choose, just so they know why they are wearing this badge. Yes, it's a drag, but it puts you in line. There won't be as many mistakes. Won't be as
You just lagged out there.
No, there won't be as many mistakes,
But I feel like it's also,
Because look, Breonna Taylor, she died due to lack of negligence of them not just to make sure they at the right house. And his husband is getting charged for attempted murder for defending himself. That's what made me mad. I'm like, what? Charlemagne the God said, if you black, just invest in a gun at this point. Like, it's just flex your second
amendment. Even if you do it in self-defense, you're still going to be blamed.
Yeah, you still killed a police officer, and you still going to have to deal with the charges of that.
I mean, you saved your life, but like you're still going to.
Yeah, because they're gonna take everything they have to prosecute you. No matter, it's gonna take a really good lawyer for you to get off on killing a police officer, even if it is self-defense. Because they protect their own. Now that's one of the things that's really hard to overcome, is that they protect their own. Once you get into the police force, you're in that brotherhood, and they really do protect their own. That's why it was so. You would think that if you saw somebody doing their job wrong, let's say you're at Walmart and you see somebody stocking something in the wrong area, you're like, bro, that does not go there, right? You would correct that person right away, right? If you're the senior officer or a senior person on duty. So tell me why none of these three. There's they said that one of the cops said something, but all three of those cops should have said something to that guy, or they should have got him off of the guy's neck. You know what I'm saying? They should have pulled him away from the situation and be like, bro, look what you're doing, or what are you doing? I mean, this is what I'm saying. There's some kind of brotherhood code thing with the police officers. Oh, real quick before I get too far into this, I wanted to bring up what KJC says since he's listening. He says people have been doing the things that I was saying, basically, trying to affect change from within by getting opportunities one at a time. He's saying, but it's saying that the problem is that nothing they do seems to be working out in a meaningful time frame. It's taking too long for the actions that I was saying to take a root and actually change things. It's people want action to be taken, but those actions are taking too long to come to fruition.
You can't expect change, instantly. That's what you have to realize. You have to wait, And I feel like that's what a lot of people are impatient for. They're impatient. They just want it now. I mean, it could happen now. You know what I'm saying? They could, but it's like it's very unlikely that that is going to happen. So you have to prepare yourself for the worst. You have to gear up, and you say, okay, I'm just gonna keep going. I'm gonna wait. And then when it finally comes out, that's where you get that satisfaction. That's where you get that compensation that Daniel was talking about.
What is it? It might sound bad, but I preach this to my niece, nephew, and cousins. I tell them every day, this is a white man's world. I'm gonna need y'all to calm down and keep your head low, please. That's
Well, I
it.
mean,
That's it.
you should also tell them that like you have the opportunity to change it. Like if you really make them believe that this is possible, then it's going to be possible. You know, like if you just tell them, okay, we can't change anything. You just have to protect yourself. There's going to be riots and stuff. Just stay home and stuff like that. You know, that's what they're going to do because you know you're the older person. You're telling them what to do. But if you say, you know, we're going to do our best to change this white man's world, then they're gonna be all for it. They're gonna help you because I mean, little people are, you know, really easy to influence. So that's you need to do it in groups. That's what I think that you have to do. Not just do it individual one by one. I mean, that does help, but like if you do it in a large group, if you get a large corporation and you're hiring a bunch of, you know, good black or um, people of color into your workplace, then that's going to look good on you, and it's going to be in a large group, and people are going to really realize that, oh snap, these people are not crazy. They're not going to kill me next time I'm at a gas station or whatever.
Oh, and on your comments that Daniel made, that man KJC said that's submissive thoughts, and he said being submissive isn't going to change anything. It'll keep you alive, your self preservation. But like if you want to
the truth, you're telling them the truth, but you're not implying that they can change anything. You know, like you're keeping them safe, but like why stay safe and
But you
bad?
said
You know?
change happens over time, though.
Yeah, it does, but like if you're saying this is a white man's world, we can't change anything. I'm not saying that that's what you're implying, but like if you in general or if people in general are just saying that, then they're not going to want to change anything. They're just going to do their best to protect themselves. You know, you have to risk your life to save, you know, millions of others. And once people
Would you
try
say
and they do
riots
that,
are a good risk? Because
well,
I'd
I
say
mean,
the riots
if
are a
it's
good
if
risk.
it's if it actually is benefiting, you know, your cause, that what's happening right now isn't benefiting anything.
Yeah,
They're
it's not.
not they're not attacking communities that are bad and, you know, economically toxic or whatever. They're not doing that. They're just rioting and ruining Arby's. Like, why the heck are you burning down an Arby's?
yo, I'm sorry, I can always agree with them burning Arby's though, but that's just me
Dude,
personally.
this black people hard.
Arby's,
Bro, black
dude.
people do not eat at Arby's. Come on now. Real black people that I know don't eat at Arby's.
Oh, shoot.
I'm just saying. I mean, show me a group of black people that said they was gonna go to Arby's or they was gonna go to Popeyes. They gonna go to
They
Popeyes
cannot.
every single time. 10 times
they
out of
start burning
10,
down the
ain't nobody
Popeyes.
gonna pick Arby's.
They start burning on the Popeyes, it's over.
Bro, as soon as you bring up that option for Popeyes, they forgot about Arby's. Arby's is like the last option on the list.
Said, oh, I guess we'll go to Arby's.
Right. They'll go to McDonald's before they go to Arby's. They're like, oh man, I'll eat a Happy Meal. I ain't gonna eat that roast beef sandwich though. But yo, this is why I wanted to get this. I wanted to have this opportunity for y'all guys to talk about it. I wish I would have got Usagi to talk about it more, because like him bringing a different perspective to it.
I didn't know what to really talk about because I'm not really that much into politics.
I mean, neither am I, but it's like, I feel like
To me, that's not really a political.
Yeah, it's not, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not. It's more. It's a social. It's a
I mean,
social issue.
I'm not really following anything. That's why I'm not really following anything. I just hear about it. That's just it.
But like, I mean, like you have an opinion on things, though, right? Like,
do you think
Not
that
really, because I don't even know like most of the people like what they're fighting for. Like I know they're fighting over some
we're
guy's
fighting
death
for
and all.
equality? That's what we want.
Oh, so
Like, well, like how do you think that we should go with this? Like, you're not black, so like, how do you should we riot? Should we peaceful protest? Should we not do anything and just wait? Like, what
Actually,
do you
wait, hold
think?
up. I honestly don't know, but no, I'm not. I'm against the writers.
Yeah, I mean, as I said, like if it's like organized and you really know what you're doing, you're not just senselessly looting, then go ahead, you know. But like if you're just like, okay, we're gonna raid the T-Mobiles. If we can raid the T-Mobiles down in Walnut Street, it's like, well, no, my dude.
Yeah, I mean, to me, the rioting and the looting and all that stuff, you can miss me with that because, bro, there's still black people that work at some of these companies and stuff. We still have to have opportunities. So now that's less opportunities for us to have a place to, feed our families or, earn gainful employment. So I mean, it's limiting more options than it is as actually, creating options. If you, it's a good time to jump into crime though, because apparently that's the wave right now. If you wanna become a criminal, this is the high time to get into it, my boy. You hop in a car, go to one of these cities that's looting, my boy, and you just ride that wave. You loot some stuff, you keep it, sell it on eBay, make a profit. But I mean,
yeah, but you've changed nothing. You've only helped yourself.
Right.
And
yeah.
money's not gonna give you everything.
But you get detained in the
Like
end.
if you're still being hunted down by cops, what is money gonna do? You're not gonna bribe a cop if he's truly racist.
But yeah, that whole like thing with the rioting and looting, my boy, I didn't get it. I can get behind protests because like I mean that's to me I'm nonviolent to a fault, my boy. So like I'd rather have a discussion with somebody rather than try to fight them or try to affect change through violence. But I mean, what I saw on the video was a man get killed in broad daylight at the hands of peace officers. Like these people are supposed to be, they're supposed to be the ones keeping the peace. Bro, when you die at the hands of peace officers, then I'm like, okay, well, who's protecting us? Because like I don't look for the police to actually, protect me and my family. But that's because that's just the black mentality. So like I try to teach my kids, watch your back. If you see somebody following you more than a block or two, don't go directly home. I try to teach them things that keep them safe and keep the family safe at the same time. I mean, I'm the type of person, I lock my doors. Even if I'm the only one at home, I lock my doors because I'm just like, I'm not giving somebody free access to my home, and I'm not gonna be the person that, like I said, the only thing that I try to take things that don't try to carry cash on me because I'm like, if I don't have, but most of the time I'm like, they look at me that I'm black. He broke, he ain't got no money, so I'm like they'll give me a pass, they'll leave me alone. But like and they'll be like, I'll watch comedians talk about things that we know as true, like the whole black they don't take black hostages, like that kind of thing, or we feel like we have a certain level of anonymity when it comes to things, but like I try to, like, honestly, when it comes to being out after dark, I don't even try to be out after dark, my boy. I try to, as soon as the sun goes down, I'm trying to be at home. Because not a lot of good stuff happens to black people after dark. But like I said, with this situation where this man died in broad daylight in police custody, my boy, like that shocked and jarred me like really hardcore. Because I'm like, bro, what was this man's crime? This man tried to pass a phony bill, right? It was a $20 bill or something like that. $20, a fake bill, and let's say he didn't know it was a fake bill.
Yeah, that was the thing. I was like, maybe he didn't even know it was a fake bill. Maybe it was like change.
Right, somebody gave him that fake bill like as change or something. But like for them to call, they called on him too. Like they're like, hey, this man tried to pass a fake bill,
Exactly.
and then
You
they
don't
sent
even talk
they
to him.
and then they sent 4 police officers. They sent four officers, 2 units.
Or
I never even
counterfeit bill.
understand that. I never understand that. For one person, you need that many officers.
And then
And it's just like the lack of communication. Okay, someone passes through your store, and you feel as if that's a counterfeit, or you know it's a counterfeit. Just flag them down. I'm just they're aggressive. Call the authorities, but like just
Or you can
flag
literally
them down.
like. I think that everyone, like it's everyone that's at fault here, and not just the cop that can. It's everyone that we could have changed something, or we could have said something, or not me like in specifically, but like it's a bunch of communities and a bunch of people that have power that could have prevented this if they, because everyone has the opportunity to change something. People in power have the opportunity to do that, but like they're just people are scared of change nowadays. It's like when you've had a system for like 100 thousands of years, you're scared to change it.
so you think that as a culture we just kind of like reach this point where it is what it is.
No, I mean, I feel like it's the majority that feel like that. I mean, like I believe in change. I think that I can grow up and change the system, and that's what I'm going to try to do. I'm going to try to get a majority of people to try to do that. I'm going to try to change the majority. But I mean, I feel like right now the people in power don't have that idea of change.
Well, I was going to say if you look at Congress and that such itself, most of the people that are in like legislation are like in upper 40s and beyond. There's like hardly any young people in that area
And
making
that's
laws.
partially because they don't think that we have good ideas, which is wrong. It's like we're the next generation.
Also, you have to remember that corporate America has its foot in the middle of legislation and all that stuff. So, like, if you can be bought and sold, you think then you can be in Congress because like they want those people that they can supposedly support. They can support them, and then like once they get them into office or whatever, then they can like start to filibuster them and try to get them to like pass laws that benefit their company.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of like you help me out, I help you, or I help you out, you help me out type of thing. But I mean, it's one of those things where they're older people, and then they're like big business people. They're all like most of them already have like they've already made a wealthy living off for themselves already. They go to legislation thinking they can change laws and they some of them genuinely want to make the world a better place or make things better, but then they get there and much like the police force, if you're the young person, the new kid in town, the older people are like, let me show you how it really goes around here. Don't you come in here making waves and all this stuff because you ain't gonna do nothing. It's almost like in most companies they tell you to keep your head down, and you'll last a long time. You won't be able to affect the change that you want to change because you don't have enough backing, or they'll tell you that you don't know how this works. You don't know how to, you don't have the power to do it. They basically try to stamp out your hope and ambitions, and then make you like basically what would it be, like a corporate citizen or a corporate legislative person, where like you follow your little set protocols, you do this like this and that, that's how you become successful, that's how you end up having a long tenure there. Because they were talking about it one time, I was watching a video, they talk about how the president only can serve 2 terms, right?
Mm-hmm.
But like some of these like representatives in like Congress and stuff, they can have forever as long as they keep get voted into their seat. They can stay in that seat for as long as they want.
That's what people don't see. They automate if there's a problem. I think Adam said this yesterday. If there's a problem in the system, they automatically blame the president. you know?
Right. Yeah,
It's
because
like,
because it's
not,
easy to blame the president
yeah, it's
because
easy to blame the dude on top. But I mean, like, as much as I hate Donald Trump, it's like he's only been in office for what, 3 years?
right.
And Joe Biden, people like Joe Biden have been in office for like over a
For
decade.
yeah, they've been there
You
for
know?
like
And
decades.
they've changed nothing. But
Yes.
like, as soon as it's a problem, it's his fault.
Right. And
I'm
and,
not,
and it's
I'm
easy
not
and it's
saying, you
easy
know,
to point him out because like Trump isn't helping himself either.
yeah,
Like
he's
you know,
making
like I was talking to y'all about this earlier. Like when this stuff started, most presidents would have jumped on a national press conference and they would have said, you know, we're not going to stand for this. We're going to, you know, reach out and try to make change. You know, he would have said something. If it was the president, he would have had his, you know, speech writers make him a speech or whatever, and you know, he would have got in front of the public and, you know, addressed it on the national media. But this man has used Twitter like it's the thing to do as far as, you know, his comments and stuff. Not everybody uses Twitter, my boy. You know,
yeah.
so like if you really want to let the nation know that you're serious about, you know, your support of this or that, and you don't support the rioting, the looters, and all that stuff, and you want the military to come in and take control of stuff. I mean, you gotta get in front of a podium, in front of some cameras, get the national media there, and be like, you know, I'm gonna address this. I'm gonna lead the people. I'm gonna, you know, be the voice for the people, or at least say something. You know, my boy's hiding out on Twitter. And then they were talking about how he wasn't wearing a mask. You know, everybody's, you know, they're recommending that people wear a mask in public and whatnot. This man's like, I ain't wearing no mask. And then like the other thing was like, as soon as like they started rioting and protesting right outside the White House, they really quickly tried to get that man underground, like hide him in the bunker. And I was like, bro, there was like somebody was saying he's the president. He's supposed to be like, you know, he's supposed to, you know, be like the leader. He's running there, hiding them up underground and stuff. So I mean, like most people can handle the heat if it ain't in their community, right? But when it's your community that the heat's on, you know, then it's a different story. It's a different ball game. Cause like I'm saying, my boy, I mean, most of y'all live in bigger cities than I do, so y'all probably seen some stuff like just in the local TV media and stuff. Not even just like national stuff, but like this George Floyd stuff. Like it had people like in the UK protesting and all this stuff. I'm like, this is the first time I've seen black people from not just the United States standing up for stuff. You know what I mean? Like when I see Africans actually protesting, my boy, like I'll be like, finally, my people is coming together. Because it's not about Africans, it's not about African Americans, it's not about black British people, it's about black people in general. Like we've been divided, separated, all this other stuff for so long on everything because like some of us got taken away from our homeland. So like we don't have that connection back to that. But I mean like we need to unite as a black people, you know, like it doesn't matter where you are. If you're black, you black. I mean that's the bottom line. And like we need to find ways to work together as a culture and a community as a whole to affect change. Because think about it, like most people look to America for, you know, their guidance, right? So that means black people in the UK are looking at what we do, black people in Africa are looking at what we do. So if and I mean that's what I'm saying. Like it took too long, I feel like, for everybody to unite. This is the prime time for some change to start happening. But like it takes all of us working in concert. It doesn't matter where we are. And I mean, thank goodness for like social media and like technology and stuff that we can all communicate with one another. We can all have a connection to each other. Despite where we are, we're all black, but we're on different continents, but we're black. So we stand together. But bro, like it's gonna take like a lot to change. Like I said, I really wanted some other like not just because I mean us as black people we need to have an opportunity in a space, but like I would like to hear different perspectives. Like I like to hear what Adam had to say. I like to hear what Roy had to say. I like to hear what Usagi had to say. But I mean Usagi is like you know he's probably not keeping up with it. So I mean it's not on the forefront of his mind. But like, I would like to know what some
What
of these
can
different people that have different background upbringings think about the situation, because like it's
That's what
gonna.
I plan to do. I was talking to Adam and what's it called about it, and I wanted to go out and just like interview just random people about this situation. 'Cause, you know,
Dangerous.
I know it. Well, I mean, I'm not gonna like go out in the riot and say, hey, can I ask you a few questions? You know, I'm gonna be smart about it, but like I think that it will be interesting. You know, to just
Right is
interview,
gonna be like,
interview just,
so
like
how you
even
doing today?
random like random cops. You know, I feel like that would be interesting to.
To hear what the cops think about it. That'd be interesting,
Yeah.
really, though, for reals, because like, think
Yeah,
about
that's what
this. This really affects their daily, day-to-day routine of.
Now they're getting bullied basically.
Right.
Yeah, what is it? What is it? Protesters who have been arrested in Minneapolis for just protesting, right? Well, yeah. Have been just talking to just police and just been smiling and then getting their standpoints about everything. But yeah, go for it.
I'm gonna get arrested so I can interview a police. It's dedication.
Wait, how are they interviewing the police? Don't they confiscate all of their like belongings whenever they put them in jail?
I mean, I'm sure they can
Like
just
if they're
talk to them, you know?
they just put them in handcuffs and they just wait till curfew's over to take them back to the jail.
Yeah, as long as they're not like legitimately beating up a dude, it's just like we're just gonna put you.
Yeah,
in
they're just
custody.
all chilling outside, just talking. That's it.
Unless because they're not really doing a crime unless they're legit looting, then they would go to actual jail. Right now, most of them are just in custody. Which, I mean, I guess that makes sense. I mean, some people are being arrested for like literally no reason. There was a news reporter on CNN that was literally just reporting the news, and two
You
cops
even
came
told
up on
them,
him.
"Do you want me to move?" And they didn't say
Yeah,
anything.
he was like, "You want me to move?" He was like, "You're under arrest." I was like, "What? I need to finish this live." And they're legit shooting like cameramen at the like. What are you doing? Do you not see that we're cameramen? Like those, there's definitely like cops that like legit. I don't know what's going on in their head.
Yeah, my boys, this is crazy. 2020 has been one of those years. We done talked about so many crazy real things this year, and like this is just like the pinnacle. Like we're not even halfway through the year of 2020, bro. It feels like we done lived like 3 years worth of crazy stuff already this year. But man, like I was really wanting some other people to show up, but I appreciate y'all guys coming in and talking. I felt like I kind of took over the thing in spots, but like I have really strong feelings about some of this stuff. Like I felt like the route to change is like it's right here within our grasp. But like we have to think differently about how to affect change. Like if people don't want to see us rioting and looting and all that, okay, that's fine. We'll attack you a different way and make change. We'll spend our money elsewhere. We'll spend our money with the communities that we live in. We ain't gonna support your big corporations that got their lackeys in the legislation. When it comes time to vote, we ain't gonna vote for those same people that's been in the House of Representatives and Senate for like years and years and years. We're gonna get y'all out of here. We're gonna find out what y'all been doing, what y'all's legislations y'all done passed. We're gonna find out what your agenda is. We're gonna find out what you really been doing. We're gonna educate ourselves. We're gonna affect change from within, because we're gonna get our people together. We're gonna start voting. We're gonna start actually making change, because they can do all this stuff, my boy. And think that they want us to vote for the president and all this other stuff. Like you was talking about, Biden's been up there for like decades, and meanwhile all this stuff has been happening, and ain't no change happen. But then they want to try to label Trump as the scapegoat. And I mean, Trump ain't helping his cause either, because like some of the things he says and does, it's like plays right along into their narrative of him, you know. But I said, like I'm saying, we have the most power in the communities that we live in to make change. But it comes with us educating ourselves and not being afraid to have knowledge, because that's one of the things that I always would look at. Black people would be like, look at you, you smart bookworm and all this stuff. Like poke fun at the people that were trying to educate themselves, or the smart kids. You know, we need to be able to lift those people up, and we should be trying to get everybody to try to be educated, because that's that was one of the things that white people always been afraid of, is an educated black person.
Yeah.
Because they know that their little schemes and their little plots, that person was going to be able to outthink them. He was going to be able to outmaneuver them, and he was always going to come out on top. Because the education is powerful, and I mean that's why whenever you give a black man a book and they actually take off and run with it, that was one of the things they try so hard to keep us from having equal opportunity and equal access to higher education. But bro, like, it benefits everybody. That's the thing. Like ones like they looked at the color of the man's skin. Like, okay, a smart black man. They didn't just see it as a smart man. Yeah. And that's the way we have to start getting people to look at it as it's not color. It's about, you give that smart man an opportunity to make change, and put them in the best position where they can make the change, because it benefits everybody as a whole. George Washington Carver, right? I mean, George Washington Carver invented,
man, but like people just saw him as a smart black man.
Right. But I mean, in spite of all these things, you know, his ability to, you know, create and invent things that open up doors for more black inventors. Now, like lately, it doesn't feel like there's been a lot of black inventors, but you know what? We don't hear about them. You know why? They don't put us on the cover of Time magazine or this or that. You know, like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or any of that. We still have innovative, creative black people. But like we get relegated to Rolling Stone. We get relegated to XXL. We get relegated to whatever music or whatever art thing it is. You know, we don't get the same opportunities that, you know, other people get. Because we have smart people that aren't just doing music. We just, the smart people that are in our community was like, you know what? They're not giving us the opportunities to do, you know, this or that, like let's say astronaut or whatnot. So let's figure out how we can take the opportunity that they are giving us, which is music. We're gonna figure out how to write lyrics. We're gonna figure out how to make hip hop. Or, you know, we're gonna push the genre. We're gonna learn how to do this or that. You know, we take they adapt. We've adapted, but like now we're pigeonholed. Now they don't think we can invent things. They don't think we can do.
We need to take that risk in going for the opportunities that they think that we can't do at this point. Because now all we're known for is just, you know, music and stuff like that. And
right.
I mean, that's cool, but like I wanna be a computer engineer, you know.
Right.
And like if I am not seen as someone that can do that, then it's like that's gonna discourage me. That's gonna make me feel like, oh well, I might as well
just do music like everybody else. Yeah, and that's sad, because like I said, that was one of those avenues where it felt like the more opportunities that we would have had with more inventors and stuff. Just think about the inventions that black people could have came up with. Because think about like the things that we use day to day life that are different than other cultures, bro. Like we could come up with some stuff. But I mean, like, I hate that it takes like some things like this happening with like the death of a black man in the hands of police officer for people to actually listen to us. Because I mean, like I said, we've been talking about this stuff to like our white friends, to our white associates or whatever, all throughout our whole like life. I mean, for y'all probably really haven't had to deal with a lot of this stuff, because like most of your experience is your parents telling you what happened to them, and then y'all go to school and like your friends and stuff. I felt like in my generation, like there wasn't like direct overt racism. Yeah, it was like under the background. Like you would get like a comment about your hair, like somebody would rub your head and then they wipe their pants immediately because their hands were greasy. Like they.
Yeah.
Or they would be like, bro, look at your hair, is nappy, bro. Or like they'd be like, well, they would say something to you that would be like, you would feel like, like they'd make you devalue you as a person because of certain things. but like it wasn't
well,
like direct overt racism.
Yeah. Well, now
yeah,
now
I
it's becoming the
experienced
norm.
I
You know?
experienced like one of those things like in elementary school. The kids would call me black, but I'd tell them I'm brown. What are you talking about? We know our colors, am I right? So I I guess that's I, I guess that's what affected me. It didn't affect me negatively. I was just like, these people are stupid. They don't know their colors, obviously. Grew
Now,
up, I
now,
just went with
now
that.
stuff like saying the hard R and like just being blatantly
That's
racist,
the
but
thing.
that's becoming the norm. Though.
Hard
It's like
thing.
I've had to deal with that throughout my entire
Yeah, just
high
saying
school
the
year.
N word R has just been a huge meme about it.
Yeah, and now people are saying it like it's
Like, don't get me wrong. Don't
okay.
get me wrong. I don't like saying the N word. It's just it's things where you don't really notice it. And like me personally, I use it as a form of like greetings. You know, I don't want to, but that's just
No, but I mean like the hard R, it sounds weird, you
it's
know?
gross.
It's like
I don't say it because
it sounds weird. It's like even if you're trying to say it in a way that isn't racist,
because you
like,
know it's not
going
good.
to
That's why it
it's going to
sounds
like
weird.
yeah, you know it came from somewhere
You know
bad.
them
And like
white
that's the
folks
same
been
thing
saying
with
it
like,
to
you know,
people.
the normal N word, but it's like it I don't know, it sounds the hard R just sounds like
You know what that
not
is?
even
That's those generations upon generations upon generations of slaves that y'all carry that bloodline in y'all. Y'all don't think because you weren't a slave, but think about you carry that genetic information that affected them in a negative way as a
so now
product
it
as a
affects me.
descendant of them. You still feel the sting of that word, even though you weren't like a direct person that was picking cotton and having to work those long hours and all this other stuff. Like, bro, like you can't tell me that like experiences aren't shared like through your bloodline. Like, you know how like in Assassin's Creed, like they talk about how like the bloodline, they would use the bloodline of the main character to like go through their history. But
Yeah,
like,
the past
bro,
tense.
but yeah, so like it's one of those things where like I feel like that word has like through the bloodline like of black people, like that hard R, like it just like it puts like it just like affects you like on a like deep like subconscious level. Like even if you try to say it in a way that it's not offensive, like just hearing that hard
It
R.
sounds offensive.
Yeah.
And me personally, I don't think that anyone should say it. You know, it just sounds like you shouldn't say it. It's like one of those words. It's like, no, you really shouldn't say that. I mean, and, like me personally, I know how to sort of keep my emotions like somewhere else. Like I'm not a very I don't really act on emotions. Like I know it sounds like I do, but like I have dealt with a lot of racism and stuff like that, and I've grown not immune to it, I would say, but like I would say I know how to handle it in a non-destructive way. I guess I would say that, if that makes sense.
No, yeah.
I was gonna say, yeah, I feel you on that. Like, to me, my thing is like I'm not a fighter. Like, I learned at an early age. Like, I got into scraps with people I went to school with, and like I was like, yep, those people.
Dang,
There's
I'm really
people
good
that
at
are better.
fighting.
Those people are really good at fighting. I don't think I'm very good at fighting. So let me try to find my little niche when it comes to conflict. How do I deal with conflict? Most of the time, I try to either talk out of it or just walk away from it or run from it. Whatever. If talking ain't gonna work, then we just trying to get out of that situation. Because like most of the time you can reason with people, but like you can't reason with like a dog. Let's say if somebody sicks a dog on you, you got to run at that point.
It's like, wait a second.
Nah, dude, I stand my ground. I know exactly where to
You're
punch.
not fighting a dog, man. We are gone. You're
Bro.
not trying to reason
Nah,
with the dog.
dude.
Like, hey,
Swift kick to the jaw and it's over, my guy.
But what if that man
See,
grabs
I
your
can't
leg
do
though?
that. I can't do
Okay,
that.
I'm
I cannot
stabbing
do
it in
those
the
things.
eye.
What does it a shark?
An eye for an eye, my guy.
Let me catch y'all up on what this man,
If it
the
won't
man
let go,
KJC
I'll dig
said.
in deeper.
I guess along the lines of the corporate thing where I said they try to tell you what you go in with all these visions, these hopes, and these ambitions, and then they crush your ambitions. He was saying that the art and game industry is 100% like that. And then like when it comes to like us talking about like the rioting and stuff, he says this isn't even the peak of 2020 yet. He was saying that 2020 is only gonna go. We're at the halfway mark. There's still more craziness that can come.
Oh yeah,
It's trending.
sure.
There's another Ebola outbreak in Congo, dude.
Ebola.
It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, Ebola made a comeback.
It's back, man.
Ebola's coming back.
Probably,
Yeah,
there's
it
another
already came back.
there's a huge
That's
outbreak
funny.
in Congo.
Ebola's coming back, but Obama ain't there to stop the shit. That shit's funny.
You know Donald Trump ain't about to do nothing right.
He ain't gonna do anything. He gonna blame it on Obama for not doing anything. On God.
He's like, we gotta get more of that hydroxychloroquine so he can keep taking doses of it to prevent him from getting coronavirus.
Don't worry, guys.
That man drinks that shit like slurp juice.
But man, dang, we did like hour and a half. Y'all guys talk about this stuff, man. But like we could have talked about this stuff forever and ever and ever too, though.
Oh
but,
yeah.
But yeah, I'm glad y'all guys came in, and I was glad to hear what y'all guys thought about it. I'm glad that Bryce is thinking about affecting change. And my boy KJC, don't give up the fight, my boy, out there in the art world. Cause me, I'm a creative person too, and I like my boy. Like I struggle. Like I find that YouTube is my outlet when it comes to all my.
You gotta grind for it, man.
But yeah, like it's one of those things where, you know, you got to find the right opportunities that present themselves. But like, man, I always appreciate you guys coming in, and like I feel like the future is in good hands. But I feel like that the more and more the people that are in power right now stay in power, like it's making it really hard for y'all whenever y'all get ready to start actually moving those blocks, moving those bricks, and start building the thing back up. Like it's like they're just like destroying it. Like you know how like let's say, like I'm trying to think of like it's like a bad employee, right, on their last couple of weeks. They're like, you know what? I'm just gonna like destroy everything, my boy. I'm just gonna make it like I'm not gonna show up to work on time, and you know there ain't nothing you could do. You just gotta wait till I'm gone before you can come back in and try to fix everything. That's almost what it feels like that's happening right now in the world. Like they're just making everything worse.
What can you do though? Like the only thing you can do is like do what you're best at. You know?
Right.
Like I can't stop the dude from the employee from breaking all this stuff because I'm not on shift, you know? Like, once I get on shift, I can, clean up the place. I can try and help. Because, I mean, that's what else am I going to do? It's not like I'm going to fire the dude. He's already about to, leave.
Right, because that's kind of how the generation is, that institutionalized, like, racism and that mentality of the systematic racism, all that stuff, like, in Congress and all that. Like it starts at the top. So like the only way to affect change is like we have to start educating ourselves on what's really going on, because they keep us so focused on these distractions, my boy, like music, entertainment, all these other things, because that keeps us from educating ourselves. We're spending our time, playing a game or listening to some music, going to the club, chasing after girls or whatnot, instead of us educating ourselves on what's really going on in the world around us. And then like I said, they got us because we're just continuously seeking these other things instead of, getting ready for what's coming up next. So like they got us like trapped in the right now trappings. But bro, like I wanted to like really address y'all, the 2020 people, like bro, because like y'all's generation, I feel like y'all's generation is gonna make like a huge change in what's coming up. But bro, like I feel like the generations of past are like on the way out. They're like shitting on everything. Like bro, they're literally making it really hard for y'all. And like I feel like y'all's generation is the collaborators, the people that don't view color as much. Y'all like, hey, you're my friend, man. We do this together, and like y'all actually talk to each other. Like I think that was really great with you and Adam, you know, doing the 35 square, Daniel, because that's two different cultures, that's two different backgrounds, that's two different family values, you know. And I mean, I know who did most of the work, but I mean, it's one of those things where you didn't just be like, you know, Adam, you know, he didn't help out that much, but like you're still able to be his friend. You're still be able to, you know, talk to him and collaborate, because you know some people have to realize that some people are just lazy. It doesn't matter if they're black, they're white, they're Chinese, they're Japanese. I mean, there's probably lazy Japanese people. There's probably lazy Chinese people. But I mean, that's one of those things where we just have to realize people are people. It doesn't matter what color you are. You just have to get to know those people as people, and that y'all are the generation that's actually to that point where y'all can see people for people. Y'all take the time to get to know people. Like our generations, like I felt like that we got so wrapped up in stereotypes, like because that's what was on TV. So like it's hard to break that stereotype unless you know enough of those people of that culture. And then you can start to see, oh, it's not, that stereotype's not true. It's just on an individual level. So like, but like y'all's generation, I feel like y'all are on that brink. Like y'all are the ones that can affect big change in the world. Like I'm just sorry. I apologize to y'all because it's like the group of people that are coming before y'all are just making the shit worse for y'all to fix whenever y'all get up there. But like I have faith in y'all. But bro, like I'm praying for this generation right now because like bro, my kids are coming up next. So like once I'm not here no more, like I don't want them to be doing any worse than me. I want them to be doing better off than me. So, which is why I'm trying to get this YouTube money so I can, you know, so I can set them up. But I mean I know myself enough that I'm not a laborer. Like I don't want to build stuff with my hands. But I try to create things with my mind and have a vision. But bro, like my hopes for y'all's generation is like really high. So, bro, if y'all got anything else that y'all want to say on the George Floyd thing or any protests or anything, y'all guys, the floor is y'all's. I'm gonna step back and then after that I'm gonna close out because I'm sitting here thinking about food right now, my boys. I'm thinking about
right now, shoot.
I mean, just to close it off, I think that people need to realize that eventually things are going to get better, you know? Like, things can't stay bad forever, you know? Like, as much as it seems like it, as much as it seems like the system's just going to be crap forever, like, things will eventually change. If my generation doesn't fix it, then the generation that's after me is going to try. And the generation after is going to try. And eventually it's going to fix it. So just having that idea that, oh, while I do live in a world that's crap, I know that eventually it's gonna be better, you know.
Keep in mind, a quiet mouth doesn't get fed, ladies and gentlemen. It's your time
you
to
gotta
rise
work
up.
for it. Just do it in the right way. Don't
In
burn down
moderation. In moderation.
Do not burn down your local Arby's as much as it's horrible.
Remember, Daquan works there. Don't do that to Daquan.
Right. This entire podcast summed up.
I'm sorry, Daquan. I've been shitting on Arby's the whole fucking podcast.
Like, man, I got paid rent tomorrow.
That man's probably sitting there like, damn, this man is really shitting on Arby's. That's why I got my opportunity, bro. You've been talking about opportunities. Arby's been letting me flip them roast beef sandwiches and take care of my family. This man out here trying to get us burnt down and stuff. I mean,
I know I make bad burgers, but like, come on, man.
But yeah, I'm glad that we ended on a light note, my boys, and have a little bit of a humor in it and stuff. But my boys, like I said, I always say this: stay safe. Practice social distancing because coronavirus ain't went away. Just because
it's still here, and now Ebola's here too.
Yeah, and we got the resurgence of Ebola. So I mean, extra stay safe. Them like shoot, and like I said, like my policy, my wisdom to y'all is if you ain't got no business out after dark, get all your business done during the day, and keep your and like I said, when it becomes dark, try to limit your movements at night. But definitely want to get out of here. Thank y'all guys for coming in and sharing in the podcast. And I'll catch y'all guys tomorrow We're gonna hit that Xenoblade Chronicles up again. All right, I'm gone. I quit.
Mm.